Hi everybody, my name is David. Welcome to my channel, my yard sale. Hey, today I want to talk about my week, my last week of just health problems and wins, good things and bad things that happened to me with my health in the last week. Sunday, and I'm happy that it's the weekend. It's kind of nice. So this last week, I wasn't even sure that I was going to be able to get to the front door to get groceries off of my front steps because I actually have to have them delivered. I don't drive, so I have them delivered. I got I got my well, I actually bought the groceries before I figured out how I was going to get them off my front steps. I wasn't completely sure I was going to be able to do it, but obviously somehow I struggled through it. So I bought a bunch of groceries, which has been for the last couple of weeks some protein, mostly protein, a little bit of fiber, some vegetables, some kind of vegetables, but inevitably there's always some kind of sweets. And of course, I usually eat the sweets pretty quickly within the first couple of days. Um, but this week I was just happy to be able to get to the front door and get the groceries off my steps before it got too hot and things started going bad. So I have a lot of groceries. I'm happy about that. This next probably 10 days I'll be eating quite a bit of deli meats. I bought a big bag of low fat turkey meat and very low fat ham. So I'm excited about eating that stuff. That's kind of good. It's nice to be able to have some meat that it's easy to prepare, and I know I'm able to prepare it, and I don't hate it. And I like the turkey and I like the ham, so that's good. Now it's just a debate of whether I'm going to eat a handful of it or if I'm going to put it in a low fat tortilla or how I'm going to eat it. Probably I have some tortillas. I'm probably going to eat them in tortillas. So I'm going to be eating the luncheon meat, the deli meat, keto style. I'll be eating a good handful of meat with a tortilla, which tortillas are not horrible with carbs, but not good. I mean, each tortilla is 26 grams of carbs, 22 to 26 grams of carbs. Of course, they say there is no carbs, but that's not true. There's 22 to 26 grams of carbs in a tortilla. So it keeps my numbers, my digits within keto, not carnivore because there are carbs, but it definitely keeps my meal within keto, which I'm happy about. And of course, keto at less than 100 grams is keto. Keto less than 25 grams is very good keto. And keto at 10 grams of carbs, that's all pretty positive keto. So I'm happy about being able to eat a tortilla with my luncheon meat. Pretty happy about that. I did buy a bunch of apples. So I've been eating apples for the last couple of days. And I've been enjoying those apples. Even though I live in New York, the apples are supposed to be amazing. But I don't know where I don't know where Walmart brings these apples in from because they're not even really that good. Of course, it's not really apple season up in New York right now. But I don't know where they bring in fresh apples from where they don't taste terrible, but they don't taste great like upstate New York apples. So I've been eating quite a bit of apples. At one point I was having concerns with eating too many apples because of the carbs, but now I seem to be able to eat plenty of apples and not have any major problems. So I'm happy about getting a big shipment of food and having plenty to eat and having some things to choose from. I'm pretty happy about that. So I'll be eating that deli meat for the next few weeks. I think that's a good thing. And if I have any apples left, if I don't eat all the apples in the next day or two. So I've been getting around my house a little bit easier lately. Like I'm starting to build some strength back. I'm starting to build some muscle back, which I'm pretty happy about. Like I feel like my insulin is definitely reversing for the better. It's returning. My insulin sensitivity is returning, and I'm happy about that. I can feel the muscle in my body, like in my arms, definitely, in my legs, in my thighs, and my calves. I can feel the muscle actually getting bigger and growing. It's not super obvious physically looking, but it definitely is getting a little bit bigger and better. So I'm getting around my house a little bit better than I was even 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'll be happy when I can get the trash out of my house again and get it down to the trash can. That'll be a pretty big that'll be a big win for me. I'll be very happy when I can do that because I've been it looks like I'm a hoarder. It's not like I'm collecting trash. I just haven't been able to get it out of my house and get it down to the trash can. So hopefully I'll be able to do that in the next couple of weeks as my strength starts getting a little bit better. It's pretty funny. So for when I ordered groceries, I also ordered as in the middle of the night I ordered some trail mix, which I love trail mix. And I don't just love the trail mix because of the peanuts and the raisins. I also like the M&Ms in trail mix. So that's like a special treat for me and somehow I can eat trail mix and even though I know that there's M&Ms and sugar and pretty bad stuff in it, I'm able to eat it very moderately without having it be extremely bad for me. So I have this cup that I usually take 2 or 3 little spoons of trail mix. I put it into this little cup and I go from my kitchen and I usually sit right here in this chair and I'll eat some trail mix. And I'd put a little bit, maybe too much trail mix into my cup last week, and maybe it was overflowing a little bit, and I must have dropped an M&M out of my trail mix in my hallway, in between my kitchen and my room, and I heard it hit the ground, but for whatever reason, I didn't see it. I couldn't see it. I couldn't find it. So several days later, I spotted that M&M, and it was sitting on the ground, and even though I was having a hard time getting down to the ground to do push-ups and exercises, somehow I got down onto the ground to get that M&M. My fingers somehow worked to be able to pinch it and pick it up, and boom, I ate that thing right up. So yeah, I was able to get a stupid M&M off the ground and eat it, but I have a hard time doing push-ups off the ground, which I think is crazy. But it's amazing what a human being will do to get an M&M when they drop it. I knew I dropped it. I just couldn't. My eyes weren't working right, and I couldn't see where it went. I didn't see where it went, so I finally did find it. I was happy about that, but I felt very silly when I finally got down there, got that M&M off the ground, and of course, boom, I ate it right up. Um, I just felt so silly. So that was kind of a silly thing that happened last week. So I'm very focused on doing my daily steps on my Apple Watch. I don't focus so much on closing all the rings on my Apple Watch, but I'm pretty focused on getting 1,000 steps a day, which I think for a lot of people that would seem like not a very big deal, but for me, 1,000 steps is kind of a kind of a big deal. And of course, the more steps I do, the better I feel and the more I can do. So I started off, 500 or 600 steps a day, and now I'm up to 1,000. Hopefully pretty soon I'll be up to 2,000. And then soon thereafter, hopefully I'm going to be able to start getting around much better, much easier, because it still can be quite difficult for me to get around my house. But I am getting around a little bit better, and I think part of that is because I'm focused on doing these steps on this watch. I can measure it a little bit easier. I can keep track of myself. And I even sometimes I'll get to the end of the day and I'll be like, I'll have 800 steps or 900 steps. So I'll get up before I go to sleep and I'll walk around my house for 50 steps, or I'll walk around my house for 4 or 5 minutes and get up to that 1,000 steps. So this Apple Watch has been, even though I was ragging on Apple and saying maybe some not so nice things about Apple and Apple Watch, I will admit that this watch has definitely helped me quite a bit in being accountable to the exercise that my body needed, that I needed. So I was happy about that, and it's definitely starting to make good effects. I'm getting around my house a little bit easier, and hopefully I'll start getting some strength back, getting some strength back, and start getting some stuff done around my house instead of waiting to feel better to do it. So the other day was a very strange weather day in upstate New York. So I ended up opening windows to let heat in because it was cold in my house and it was warm outside. So I opened windows to let heat in, and it was very nice outside. It got nice inside finally, and then later that night I had to close the windows again because it got cold. It went from like 80 degrees to like, I don't know, 40, 45 degrees. So I ended up having to close all my windows again to try to keep the heat inside. And I ended up spending the night, still am spending the nights under electric blankets because it's not freezing cold, but it's cold enough to be chilly. Like crazy upstate New York weather. It's like hot during the day, which feels good to me, but it's chilly at night, which I guess that's good sleeping weather and good sleeping temps. But me personally, I'd be happy just to have it be nice and warm. The neuropathy, as it feels like my muscle is starting to redevelop, and it feels like my muscles are starting to grow some. The neuropathy in my hands seems to be resolving a tiny, tiny bit, just a tiny, tiny small bit, even though the muscles and the tendons and the joints between my elbow and my wrists, it's like the tendons. I think it's the tendons. I don't know. It's the tendons or the muscles. I don't even know. But they're so tight. It's like very difficult to use my hands, which is very frustrating. I'm trying to stretch my muscles and my joints out to just try to get more functional usability of my joints, because it's so difficult to use my hands when, like, the tension between my elbow and my wrist is so tight that I can't really even like grab onto things very well. I guess I am happy that it feels like the neuropathy in my hands seems to be resolving a little bit, but I'll be really happy when this tension in my joints kind of starts going away. It's not snapping quite as much as it was. It still snaps, but not quite as much. But that tension in these joints, it's like so uncomfortable. I never really realized that. Well, I wouldn't have known that insulin resistance and just insulin related diabetes, pre-diabetes, and all this kind of stuff caused hair loss. I must have lost a ton of hair. I don't have I still have hair on my head. I still have to shave my head, because my hair is still there and it's kind of unruly. But now that my insulin seems to be, now that my insulin sensitivity seems to be returning some, I swear it feels like I can feel every hair growing out of my body. Like my eyebrows, my face, my chin, my face. Like I can really, it feels like I can feel each hair growing out of my body. It's not painful, obviously, but it's pretty uncomfortable. It's kind of itchy. It's kind of gross, but it's crazy that like I'm feeling the hair growing out of my body. Like I must have like, I never realized how much hair I had lost. I knew that I was losing some hair on my head, but I just didn't know that it was because of insulin resistance or had anything to do with any diabetic type issues. But hopefully this is a positive thing, that all this hair growing back, hopefully this is a positive thing and just another step in the discomfort of reversing insulin resistance. But I'm pretty happy about that, actually. I'm definitely seeing muscle growing back in my body, especially the big muscles, my biceps, my forearms a little bit, my legs. I'm starting to feel and see muscles growing on my thighs, definitely my thighs for sure, and my calves a little bit. And I'm having to like really stretch all these muscles out just to try to get functionality back. And hopefully, pretty shortly after this cycle, I'll get use of my hands again, and hopefully things will start resolving with using my hands a little bit easier. So in the news, I'm still extremely shocked they made such a big deal about packing that Bezos's rocket full of women and shooting them to space, which I can think of some women I'd love to shoot to space. A couple of them for sure, but I just don't know that I would make such a big deal of that. I mean, what happened if that rocket went up in flames, which that has happened in the past. I don't know if you guys remember Sally Ride and that whole crew. That whole rocket went up in smoke, and I'm having a hard time with these companies packing rockets full of just civilians and sending them to space like it's a super special thing that they shouldn't be scared. They should be scared. I don't know how many rockets that Tesla sent to space, or Elon Musk. I don't know how many rockets he sent up, but they've lost some rockets. It's going to take one of these guys, or one of these companies. They're going to pack a rocket full of civilians. It's going to go up in smoke, and then people are going to start realizing exactly how dangerous that rockets and space travel actually is. I just can't believe that they did that. I'm still shocked. But I mean, I guess I'm glad that they got home safely. I'm more happy that they brought those astronauts home from the space station. Like I'm happy that Elon Musk was able to bring those people back. I was terrified that they were going to actually die up in space, which I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they made it home, and hopefully they'll live a good life and think back about safely getting to and from space and getting abandoned on the space station for 9 months or 8 months or however long. I'll just be happy when they will do space things that make sense instead of constantly trying to push the limits, especially with civilians. It'll be nice to get them to go to the moon if they can like build some kind of structure on the moon to actually live there and not die there. That'd be a great thing. So I don't know what exactly happened with the financial markets, but I'm sure like everybody else that's watching this video, I was wrecked. I'm happy to see the financial markets fully bounce back and get back to normal. And by financial markets, I mean stocks, obviously stocks, and stocks including cryptocurrency. I have some cryptocurrency, and I watched that like dwindle down to like almost nothing. And I'm seeing these things kind of bouncing back. I'll be happy when not only the markets bounce back to where they were, like I'm hoping that all the changes that are taking place, I'm hoping that these markets just blow up and go crazy. I know that I need that. My retirement is dead. I'll never be able to retire with what I have left. Hopefully it'll bounce back and get me back to where I might be able to even think about retiring someday. But yeah, I'm going to be pretty happy when these financial markets fully bounce back and get back to at least where they were, and then maybe start growing again. That'll be a good thing. And I know that everybody, like I said, that's watching this video is probably thinking the same thing. I don't think anybody's hoping that it'll stay depressed like this, but I'll be pretty happy when it all bounces back. So I hope you're having a great weekend. Happy Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a great week next week. And thanks for watching. Do me a favor, give me a thumbs up. If you're subscribed, thank you so much. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.